Well, good evening, chess fans. It's another night of Friday Night Podcast here at Borders Books and Cafe at 81st and Yale, Tulsa, Oklahoma. We're joined this evening by the better half of the Palercio clan. A few weeks ago, we interviewed Anthony, and now tonight we have Destiny. Destiny, glad to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
And of course, as always, for expert commentary and analysis, we have National Master Chuck Unruh with us. Chuck?
Good to be back.
Okay, so we're going to talk about a game you played a few years ago, Destiny, back in 2004. It was at the North American OCF Open. It was the 23rd. But before we do that, let's talk a little bit about you've been the pole guard champion for Oklahoma 2 years in a row, and you finished, what, 5th and 4th or 7th in both those tournaments?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. So you came to, was this game before or after the pole guard, do you recall?
I think this was before.
Okay. So you were a rising star at the time. Okay. Well, Chuck, you played with Destiny a lot. Tell us a little bit about her style.
Destiny's the most ferocious competitor I've met. And she has one thing in mind, that is the king.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and get started. So, Destiny, you play a Pierce here, or a Pierre, however you want to do it, with the Austrian. You played the Austrian attack, or against this Pierce here. So let's talk about this. We'll go up here, and this is a book move here, Chuck. This moves bishop to e3. Is that right?
Yes, the common moves are a big BD3 in the Austrian, or instead of moving at all, but advance the pawn for the Donner attack. That's gained a little popularity lately.
Okay. Well, let's move on up to our next position that we want to take a hard look at. We go all the way up here to move 12. And we'll take a look at this and see what happens here. So tell us about this, what you're thinking here, Destiny.
Well, I'm wanting to play Queen E2 because it kind of opens up for me to have the option to castle queenside. I was kind of contemplating doing that, or maybe I wasn't going to castle at all just to have some more security in the center with my queen. And then I was going to maybe want to come over and play Queen to G2, kind of opening up when I'm going to open up the lines on the king side. Mm-hmm. So those are kind of some of my thoughts. And then, or I might not even have castled at all just to kind of see, because I'm not really in any kind of threat right now. So I'm just kind of waiting to see what he's wanting to do.
All right. Well, he plays this b5, and then you play this a3, which is a little bit defensive for you, I guess. But I guess you're preventing what here?
Well, yeah, I didn't, and trust me, I wasn't happy about having to play a defensive move myself. But, you know, I mean, I got to do it once in a while. So I played a3 because I didn't want him to get another push in on b4 or play a5 to get some tempo or momentum. So I just wanted to play a quiet move just to kind of shut out any opportunities he might have for a counterattack.
So let's go on up to the next position we want to look at here, which is this g5 move. Now, Chuck, let's talk about this move for a second. She plays g5, but what's another possibility here that we should talk about? I think you were looking at possibly the f pawn.
Oh, yes, I like f5. I like h5 at this point. All of them breaking into the black king. I mean, black's pieces are scrambled, and they're just not the resources you need over there at the king. White has all the space. This is a very, very typical attack.
So we've looked at some of these positions on the analysis, and I think that the institutional memory of this game is that White has a clear advantage here, but on the computer, not necessarily so. But I think you guys have played this position a lot, and everybody generally agrees that White's easily winning here.
I like the g5 move. It just structurally kept black from playing f6.
Right.
So you're stuck with a bishop and a rook to guard the king. White just starts moving pieces over to that side.
Which is exactly what happens here. He moves the knight in here to the c4 spot, and Destiny, you just start grabbing pawns.
Yeah, that's anything that I can do, you know, to gain tempo and keep the attack and get some material. You know, I'm all about that. So
you're all about attacking. I've heard that about you.
Yeah, well, word spreads fast, and you know.
Okay, so we come back here and we get this pawn grab over here on the H file, and Chuck, it looks to me like she really does control not only a lot of the space here at the center of the board, but a lot of the white squares.
And the black king's running.
Yeah, and that's always a good sign for Destiny, right? That's what you like.
Yeah, that's my motto. So.
Okay. Well, we're moving along here, and we're beginning to see him trying to start break some things open, and you're just basically at this point willing, I guess, to trade off his more active pieces, I guess, for the opportunity to bring your pieces into play. It looks like. So
Yeah, I'm just kind of anything like you said that he had that was moderately active. I'm kind of trading off just to kind of avoid any kind of threats or attacks that he might have because I have an overwhelming king side attack going. So anything that's going on the queen side, that I'm wanting to trade off any material he has just to kind of avoid any kind of
right.
problems I might have later on.
So he moves the queen over to b6, and you respond with this bishop to e3 move. I'm assuming that you just want to be able to connect your rooks if you have to move the king.
Right.
And then we see him trying to position pieces around, but Chuck, it just doesn't look like he has much space to do that,
No, the E5, the static pawn structure. Destiny has the inside lines of communication, so her pieces move back and forth faster. The black side has to go all the way around the pawn front to do any good.
So he begins to move in here, and of course, Destiny, you have to move here now because of the fork
Right.
of the knight to c3, so pointed that out. So he goes ahead, comes in, attacks the queen, but that just plays into your plan because
Right,
queen,
that's kind of what I was wanting to do anyways, is get my queen over there and get involved.
And now it's just, I don't know, Chuck, if you're playing this position, how are you feeling?
I would have kept my rook back on A8.
Yeah.
That rook needs to come over and help with the defense of the king side. Maybe come back to F8. Trying to get counterplay this late with an open king and queen coming in, it's tough.
And Destiny, we're beginning to see the old three pieces near the king with a pawn, and somebody's going to die soon. So,
Yeah.
he moves the king back here, and you grab the pawn there, and of course he just is exchanging his defenders at this point.
Yeah.
He has to bring the queen back.
Yeah, he's kind of running out of spaces for his king. I'm kind of cutting off all the squares with my queen, giving him less options. So I'm hoping to get a mating net up here eventually. And worst case scenario, even if I have to trade off the queens, I'm up quite a bit of material. So I figured that I was pretty good here.
So he brings the queen in. You bring the queen in, do the check. He moves. And you're just beginning to attack his weak pieces now. Here come the pawns, Chuck. It looks like she's just gonna.
Yeah, it was a long-term plan, but my pawns eventually are making it down there. So
So now let's take a look at this one move right here, and we have to point out for everybody that Destiny, who wants to kill the king, missed the mating net here. So she plays this.
What I was kind of striving for, when it finally came into a plan that I could have had, I kind of missed it. It's kind of disappointing.
You could have played this right here, and Chuck, she gets a mate in 4 here, it looks like.
Yes, I mean,
it's just ugly.
It's part of it. We start focusing in on our pawns, there's a knight hanging, and you miss a shot like that. It's really easily done.
And there's your mate, but that's okay. You went on to win this anyway. Let's go back. So you did play this after all.
Yeah.
You come in here, you have the check, and now it's just a matter of you cutting off his queen.
I think he was kind of trying for a perpetual, to get his queen and check me on the different squares because my king's a little bit open. But once I saw him with the check, I could see I could just play my queen back and then, either force the queen trade or he's, about to be mated here in a few. So.
Yeah. Chuck, any last thoughts?
Well, this is typical Destiny game. This is wide open, attacking. I'm going to get their king before they get my king.
Well, this has been a lot of fun, guys. I really appreciate you coming by this evening, Destiny. Thanks for spending some time with us. Chuck, once again, thank you.
Welcome.
For those of you who are interested, we're over here every Friday night at Porter's Books and Cafe at 81st and Yale. So if you'd like to come by and watch us do the podcast or maybe submit a game, let us know. We'll be glad to take a look at it. And so good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us, and happy chess to all.